welcome to Center Heist Productions. It is February 21st, 2024. Please hit the likes and subscribe. I'd muchly appreciate your support and growing the channel. Muchly appreciate it. Thank you to my followers that I do have. And yes, this is exactly what it says. It's a review of tonight's game with the Sabres in town in Montreal, and it was actually a good game. A lot of errors. That's the only problem. There was a lot of cough-ups, a lot of odd man breakaways on the Habs. I gotta say, but overall, a good close game. 3 penalties for Slav, which was unusual, and 3 giveaways by Caufield, which proved costly. So he wasn't his. I would have to say that Cole Caufield was probably one of the worst players for us. Between him and Xhekaj didn't impress me tonight either. So those two didn't impress me whatsoever. Harris was a little rusty. He definitely made some errors, which I think that was more or less rust. Sabres made some mistakes. I have to say, Xhekaj had the best game he's had all year. Struble had a strong game. And Matheson had a strong game. Gooley, not bad. Gooley and... so really, to me, there was only 2 defensemen that... Although, they had their moments. But I just found the 2 weakest tonight was Harris and Sabres. And it is what it is. So we start off with, let's go back. Very chippy game it was. Like I say, Cole Caufield gave up a bad errant pass, which sent in the winning goal, with Alex Tuck making no mistake. There was no catching him, and Alex Tuck is too experienced. That was the nail in the coffin for the Habs. And sad, but good game. Good, solid game. Very physical game. Very chippy. Almost thought something could happen. Xhekaj was just very physical, and that's what you want to see out of Xhekaj. This looked more like Xhekaj. He had a strong game, and he scores the first goal. Montreal scores a goal in the first period, and that's Xhekaj by Roy. And anyway, Buffalo scores all 3 of their goals in the second period. Montreal scores 1 in the second. No scoring in the third. So Montreal lapses with penalties. That Slav did cost them a bit. And I'm sorry to say that, but he was undisciplined. I don't mind. I love Slav's that he was in it, and he needs to be, but he's got to just watch some of the plays he makes. Just not good penalties at all whatsoever. Got to stop holding a little too into it, and so I think that took away from his game, where cough-ups definitely took away from Caufield. However, both players, I wouldn't condemn them. Just some mistakes, and Caufield to me looks hurt. Just uncharacteristic, and you could see him getting up slowly quite a few times. So whatever's been ailing him where he didn't practice, I believe it's still ailing him. So Alex Tuck gets a shorthanded goal on a break in the second period to give the Sabres a 3-2 victory over the Canadiens Wednesday night. Jurgensen and Skinner also scored, and Pekka Lokinen made 29 saves. The Sabres improved their record. Skinner, of course, scores again, as he always does. He's just a Habs killer. That guy, you think you got him contained, and he just comes through. So, and then, like I say, Xhekaj and Struble were the ones who scored for us. Montembeault, which means that all of our scoring comes from our defense again. And Montembeault made 20 saves, and Montembeault looked okay. However, the Habs just made some mistakes here and there that were costly at times. Leaving a man in front of the net, you can't do that untouched. When Jurgensen scored, when he tied the game, untouched from a shot from the point, from Hiroko. Standing alone, he was. Struble and that was the tying goal that tied it after Xhekaj had scored. And Struble scored to put us ahead at 6:35 with a wrist shot deflected off of Sabres forward Peyton Krebs and fooled Lokinen. Skinner tied the game at 9:28. 8 on the power play, which was probably one of Slav's penalties, which proved costly. And again, you had Tuck score. Now, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, we'll get to the Lokinen makes 29 saves. First star, Waugh gets 2 assists. Second star with a +2. Xhekaj got 1 goal, and his ice time went up to almost 19 minutes. There was a period there where him and Sabres were on the ice quite long. Or was it him and Matheson? Anyway, they were on the ice quite a long time. I was kind of surprised. So, yes, second period. So, first period scoring, Xhekaj scores assisted by Waugh at 12:41, and Savard. Jurgensen ties it, assisted by Hiroko and Dahlin, 6:35. Jaden Struble scores, assisted by Waugh and Newhook. Jeff Skinner ties things up, assisted by Cousins and Tage Thompson on the power play, and that's why I say Slav kind of cost them a goal there with his undisciplinedness. And then at 18:08, Tuck gets a goal, shorthanded, due to one of Caufield's giveaways that proved costly, and Tuck's not going to make a mistake. Final shots, 31-23 for the Habs. Hits, 19-14 for the Sabres. They seem to be hitting more than that, if you ask me. Faceoffs won were in Habs' favors, 32-17. Power play was in Sabres' favor, 1 for 3. 0 for 4 for the Habs, per usual. 10 penalty minutes each. Giveaways, 12 for the Habs, 8 for the Sabres. Takeaways, 9 apiece. Block shots, 19-15 for the Habs. And like I said, the power play, by no stretch of imagination, I don't know why all of a sudden, you get reports on certain podcasts. All the Habs, like it's such a joke. I seen it on a podcast last evening, how the Habs power play and bringing up Alex Burrows. Come on. They have an odd couple goal here and there, and then they have games with none. Their power play is not solved, so you can report what you like. It just might mean that a lot of people's got, in a lot of teams have bad power plays, but the Habs don't have a great power play whatsoever. So stop reporting that it is good, that Alex Burrows is, because they score a goal every now and then. Give me a break. It's not the answer. It's gotten better movement-wise, and, they had capitalized here and there more frequent, but they also have had games where they haven't, and it shows. Yes, they're moving the puck better, but they're not cashing in all the time, and there's some mistakes in some of the passing plays as well. So, to me, no, the Habs power play is by no stretch of the imagination resolved. So that's a joke for anybody reporting that it's resolved. So in the first penalties on Casey Mistletoe, 2 minutes for tripping at 4:10. Jordan Greenaway, 2 minutes for roughing. Mike Matheson, 2 minutes for boarding. Josh Anderson, 2 minutes for roughing. Harry Jokinen, 2 minutes for slashing at 17:10. Second period, Slav took 2 penalties, one at 8:40 and one at 12:11, and he just seemed to be a little, just held a little bit of holding here, and that's just not like characteristic of him. Glad to see him involved, but he's got to watch where he's got his hands on a player. And then Tage Thompson got 2 minutes for tripping at 16:56. Then the third period, Tage Thompson got one at 18:26, and then Slav got one at a bad time at 19:34, where that was great when we were on a power play and he got it for hooking. A bad time, which if we were going to tie it up, it kind of blew that out of the water. However, I don't want to condemn him. It wasn't. He was more involved than a lot of players doing a lot of hitting. So I give him credit there. He just discipline wise, he has to watch himself. And Caufield, I don't know. I think he's hurt. I think they should just give him a break or see what's going on because he was moving slow. But he made some horrendous mistakes. This was probably one of his worst games. As far as errors, it just wasn't Cole Caufield of old. And even with some of the opportunities, he had better opportunity of passing, and he just had to shoot it instead. Like he was nowhere near in a good position at the side of the net on one play. And instead of passing it, he goes up and tries to shoot it himself, and it was just ridiculous. And that's you can't be greedy to that point where you know the save's going to be made that easy. So there's some things to clean up, but hey, they're young, and like I say, I put that for Cole. That my excuse for him is you could tell to me he's hurt. So and like I said, Slav just needs to watch the discipline, keep his intensity, but watch that. A very physical game. I think the hits were more than what they showed. Um, that they and Xhekaj had his best game of the year. He just was belting everybody. Got that bomb of a shot at the beginning of the game, and Struble, nice goal too later on to put us ahead when Buffalo had tied it. So both goals coming from our defense, and that says something. But first line wasn't as effective. And although Nick Suzuki to me was the second, for me the two best players on the Habs was Xhekaj and Suzuki. By far, not even close. Nobody else was even close to that, to those two. Uh, Hands down, best two players of the game for Montreal. And I think Suzuki made one of the most incredible back checks on a breakaway. I could not believe it. It was probably the best back check I've seen Nick Suzuki make since he's been in the NHL. Very impressed with that play. He just pulled up the stick totally at the last second. And same thing as offensive efforts where he had some chances where he almost broke through, and he just his persistence on the defense. So that was nice. Nick had a great game. I don't. You got to give credit where it's due, and he played very well. Um, like I said, I think you knew that it was their point streak was going to come to the end because we were having problems with Slav's discipline and Caufield's coughing up the puck. He just wasn't effective at all tonight. He was making a lot of mistakes, which you can see the grimaces on his face. He's hurt. Other than that, good game, chippy. A lot of hitting back and forth, some big clean hits like Armia got nailed, and it wasn't long after that Xhekaj smoked Jurgensen and with a beautiful hit. And nice to see Xhekaj was consistent. He's just taking the body, and this is the Xhekaj you want to see. He had a fairly, like I said, he to me was our best defenseman tonight. We had a couple others, yes, but for him, he really stepped up. Had a really effective game. Struble was fairly good, and Matheson had an all right game as well. No, not as many mistakes that he can defensively make. He made some big plays at times. Actually, he saved Montembeault in front of the net when the Sabres went around the net and almost tucked it in, and Montembeault wasn't getting back there in time. The stick was headed there, but it was Matheson's stick that kept it out. So a good game by the Habs. They put up a good effort. They just kind of didn't have enough. And like I said, I would say, I say Slav still had a positive game other than his penalties. Discipline, he's got to pull that back in. But he had good effort. And he was very much physically in it. You want to see the intensity like that. He was there for his teammates. So good that on them that way. Other than that, to me, the three players that I found very ineffective. Well, four. Cole Caufield to me and Genianic were to me not impressive at all. I wasn't impressed with their game. Cole, like I said, for Cole, he had a reason. You could tell he's hurt. Xhekaj, I don't know what. There's a couple games now that I haven't been impressed with him. Just making some errant plays and not taking his man on penalty kills properly. So I'm not sure, what to think there. And Alex Duhook, I don't like him in that bumper roll. I'm sorry. To me, he's not the guy for that bumper roll. However, I'd rather him than Josh Anderson. So if they could put somebody else in that bumper roll, I almost think Armio would be good for that. But yeah, I don't find Newhook's effective enough in that bumper roll replacing Monahan. Sorry, yeah, a lot of plays not being capitalized on with him in that position. Knocked off the puck quite a bit. So anyway, good game though. However, it was a good game, good solid fight out. I was happy the Habs lost. Just did what I wanted it to do, get us closer to a good draft pick. Although the Sabres have nothing to write home about because I think we're where they're at. We easily could have won this game. And I thought the Sabres were going to be so much farther ahead this year. Maybe it's just an off year, but for me, them in Ottawa, there's got to be concern there. Those teams should have been fighting for a playoff spot, and they're not. So it's kind of shocking that, and the Habs have done better than they should have. So we might have a better rebuild going on once we catch up to those teams. I think that, yes, they're ahead in the process, but they're not getting the results where the Habs are already. And I do think that for me, I'm not for the Zegras thing. Sorry, trade. Just sorry. I like Craig Button. Seen him on Tony's, and he's always high on going after Zegras. I've got nothing against Zegras. I just think we got to watch the size issue. Plus, we really need some big players with skill right now. I think we got enough small guys, and that's my main concern in how much you would have to give up. It would have to be an exceptional offer, which I don't see happening. But for me, it's not there for me anyway. I just think we need different ingredients. We need some size now because we just have, too many small players. Like I say, I do, however, think, I don't know. I'm not sure if there's going to be any more trades from the Habs by the deadline. I just don't know. I just don't know if the market's there, where teams are so strapped. Unless there's 3-team trades, that's the only way I can see it. Right now, I wouldn't be surprised if there's no trade till the off season. That's kind of my philosophy, but because the Habs don't have to be in a hurry to get rid of Allen, but and really they should wait until the offer's right. Don't rush it just for the sake of getting rid of somebody. But at that, like I say, we continue to have defensive collapses. And that's what I mean by that is our forwards are part of that problem of not coming back and giving the defensemen the help they actually need. And what I mean is being in the right position, picking up their men instead of trying to double team a player. You don't want to do that. Let the guy that's on them take them. But anyway, with that being said, I think, sorry, and I'm at that point too. Sorry, for me, Josh Anderson is not cutting it. I would have had him scratched tonight, and I don't know why, and this seems to be, and I would have left the lines alone from the other night. So I think we've got to watch what we're doing and stop rewarding veterans who haven't earned it. And that seems to be the one knock I have against what we're doing. I love Marty's breath being a breath of fresh air because he's awesome. I just don't think he has much to back him up with other coaches insulating him. And so some of the decisions I question. But with that being said, thank you for joining me. Where's the Puck Drop Verse here at Centralized Productions, and we will catch you tomorrow night with Again, we're going to be playing the Penguins. I don't look at us getting a victory there. We have the Penguins are going to be fighting for a playoff spot to get themselves close to try to get at that wild card. So the game's going to mean more to them, and they'll probably come out on top. I expect maybe a 2-goal difference. So with that being said, thank you for joining me. We will catch you tomorrow night's game when we review Pittsburgh and Montreal. Thank you for watching. God bless.